I'm gonna make necklaces out of recycled thermal paper. My clothes in the next video is I'm gonna have like a toga of like receipts like put together. I'm doing my job for the environment, people. Hey everybody, Neil Winteregg here with Matterhorn Business Development. Welcome back to the Newsroom. I am joined by Dr. Greg Winteregg, author, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development, and my guest for today. So today, we're gonna be doing a new edition of the Business Newsroom. If you're new around here, we like to do different news items from the business-related stuff. We talk about profit first, we talk about selling, we do 3 videos a week. So give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned. Also, there is a link down below to actually download a sample of Dr. Winteregg's book, Fun at Work. So if you haven't done that, be sure you do that. Now today, we are gonna be talking about Carlsberg beer unveils the world's first paper beer bottle.
Yay!
Okay.
That's awesome.
Not bad. Pretty good idea. The article here is from a website called The Drinks Business, but I initially found this idea being passed around on LinkedIn. It is going to have a 30% reduction in full value chain carbon footprint by 2030. Don't know what that means, but that sounds awesome.
It sounds important.
We like 30% reductions. They have 2 prototypes and they've got special things going and they've been working on it since 2015.
Okay.
And anyway, they're trying to innovate their packaging formats. And
well, it definitely gets people talking about them.
And it gets people talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this today, was because I have to ask whether corporations do this kind of stuff because they really care about the carbon footprints, or they care about how many eyeballs they get or people buying their bottle.
Okay.
And I think that most people don't understand that 99% of what companies do from a PR perspective is that people buy their crap, whether they believe in it or not.
It's for eyeballs.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
for eyeballs.
Makes sense.
Now, Carlsberg is saying they're the first ones to do this. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
My question is just, does it really change anything? I don't know. I'm not a recycling expert.
Right.
But I think that this is one of those things that companies do to just try and get a good relation, but doesn't actually necessarily mean that they're there to change the world.
Well, first of all, it's brilliant marketing.
Of course. That's all it is.
It's right in alignment with what people are doing today, talking about today, the whole plastic straw, paper straw, subject. I mean, they're definitely being contemporary.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And I think that organizations take stances, and we've talked about this before, that are going to gain them the most public favor.
Yep.
Whether it's what they're there to do or not. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that...
Now, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
That they're doing this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't say.
But from a marketing standpoint, you can agree that it's good.
From a marketing standpoint, it's good. I read somewhere that, you know these plastic bags?
Yes.
Okay, plastic bags are terrible,
Yep.
right? And they're bad for the environment and all that stuff. So people buy these other bags, and they bring their own bags to the grocery store. And environmentally, I have heard that the only way to make that bag that you paid for actually worthwhile for the environment, you have to use it 20,000 times.
Okay.
Because the resources it takes to actually make it and put it together, the effect that it has, and this is the same thing, my main problem with cars, electric cars.
Yeah.
Electricity is the energy of the future. What about all the batteries when they're dead?
Right.
That is, I think, worse than the emissions. I think we're better off served trying to handle the emissions problem than we are trying to figure out what to do with all these batteries.
Agreed.
It's like a nuclear waste. Nuclear energy is the wave of the future. But what do you do with all this green stuff? Oh, we'll bury it in the ground. Oh, people are drinking it, right? Like, this has happened.
Now, I recycle. I don't know if you want to go with this or not. I recycle, and my housekeeper, I took the little bag that I get at the grocery store, the plastic bag, and I put it in recycle. And she goes, you can't recycle that.
Can't recycle that.
Why can I not recycle a plastic bag?
Well, the reason for that is the nature of plastic bags causes the machines to get jammed. That actually does the recycling. And it's similar with plastic straws. Plastic straws are so lightweight, they fall off, they get lost places, whatever it is, right?
Okay.
But the point that I want to make about that is that we're talking about recycling, we're talking about all these things. all of these problems could be solved by individuals, but the government is the one actually regulating and trying to control all this.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if the private sector handled these things,
right.
solved like that.
Exactly.
There is a solution out there for global warming, which we're not here to talk about, but I do believe that humans being on Earth emitting crap into the atmosphere causes a problem. There's a way to fix that, I am sure.
Yeah.
But
government regulation is not going to solve it.
Government regulation is not going to solve it.
What has government regulation solved?
Nothing.
Exactly.
So, and going back to what we're talking about with Carlsberg beer and everybody's getting on the thing. So let's talk about one thing I want to go over really quickly. Okay. This is receipt paper.
Okay.
It cannot be recycled. It's a special thermal paper.
Okay.
Okay. Receipt paper is probably used more than plastic straws are.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one of these was for a week's worth of groceries, and which one of these was for a tube of toothpaste?
Well, that has to be the tube of toothpaste, and this is the week's worth of groceries.
This is from Whole Foods.
Okay.
Okay. This was a light week of groceries for me and my wife. It was $76.
Okay.
I'm traveling this week. I didn't need as much food.
Okay.
We already had some stuff left over.
But the point, that's a tube of
$6.95 at CVS. I actually stopped at CVS yesterday just to buy something. It's the only way I go into a CVS.
You knew we were going to shoot the video, and you knew it was going to be that long.
Yes. So if you buy anything from a CVS, you're going to get this much is actual receipt.
Yeah.
And this much is all sorts of other crap that nobody cares about.
Oh, your $2 rewards.
Now, you're telling me that we should ban the plastic straw for a paper straw which can't be recycled, but this is totally normal in the 21st century.
Right.
My grandma has an email address. You could email her receipt. We're still printing this crap out that nobody cares about.
So I'm going to jump.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's a PR move to back the plastic straw. CVS came out and said, "Oh, well, we're not selling tobacco products anymore because they're bad for people and bad for." Oh, fine. If you want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a PR move. They don't care about the person actually buying the cigarettes.
Right.
Because if you did, you'd do something about this.
I agree. And the whole plastic straw thing. The first time I heard about it. So I see somebody at Starbucks. They have a Venti plastic cup.
Yes.
And a lid,
which is probably bigger than your.
Yeah, it's bigger than this.
Yep.
And a plastic lid, and we're complaining about the straw.
The 1% of the plastic.
Yeah.
Is what we're concerned about. I don't believe the plastic, the paper straw over plastic straw. I don't believe the paper beer bottle over the glass beer bottle as so much as like a way of changing the future, but just like a stance to take to attract people and get attention.
So I agree with you 100%. And I think people, before we get all emotional and worked up about any particular item, no matter what it is, follow the money.
Yep.
Just follow the money.
Yep.
And I thought this was really cool. Mr. Wonderful gave them money, and I bought this at my where I get my hair cut, and they had this. I'm like, oh, that's really awesome, And so that's fine, but then I don't like see people get all worked up and carry a banner for a cause that isn't really the purpose of the cause.
And that's what I'm saying is...
I think things like this are duping people.
Yeah.
And it's tricking them into getting all emotional, which just forwards the public relations of the effort.
Yeah, and before we carry on too long in the video here, that's kind of my thought with the Carlsberg beer bottle. All right, if we take it back to what we're talking about. So I think it's great that it's being made out of the paper and the whole thing. And The question is it easier to recycle that than it is glass? Because normally it comes in a glass bottle.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Is the sleeve that it's being made out of already recycled products so that we're actually using the resources of what we recycle? And I think that you have to ask yourself, like, okay, so does this paper thing actually change anything in reality? You know what I mean? Like,
or in reality, to your point about the batteries, the batteries are awful. I don't know what they're going to do with them.
Well, nobody cares right now because it's the wave of the future. But eventually they're going to be like, those fossil fuel things weren't so bad after all.
Exactly.
Because how many times do we do that over the years, even with like diets? Back in the day it was like, don't eat eggs. They're going to kill you. And then it's like, yeah, we were wrong about that. You should eat all the eggs that you want. Don't eat egg whites. Only eat egg whites. And then it's like, Okay, nobody really knows a lot of
Don't
this
eat
stuff.
butter. Margarine, they're actually finding now.
Now you're supposed to put a whole stick of it in your coffee and drink it. I mean, that's why it just cracks me up with this stuff. Is it's like, just
Right.
like that, we're going to be doing the same thing with, the batteries.
Right.
I mean, does a gigantic car full of batteries, when it's time to recycle that, cause more harm than my Chevy Camaro V8 that's a gas guzzler and bad for the environment? What is actually worse? I'm going to be honest with you.
I think the batteries.
I actually think the batteries are worse.
Yeah.
I actually do.
They're probably going to end up being worse than nuclear waste.
It's going to be similar.
Yeah.
It's going to be similar. And I lived in Buffalo, New York for a little while, where people had nuclear waste and waste that was dumped into the rivers that nobody told them about.
Mm-hmm.
They built an entire subdivision on top of it, and it had to be closed down.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting because people didn't know what to do with the waste.
Right.
They were like, "Oh, we'll just bury it in the river." That's genius. And I mean, but that's what we're going to get up to with
the
batteries
batteries.
at some
Yeah.
point. We're going to get up to the same thing. So
how are we going to wrap this up?
it's tough. I think that initially Carlsberg beer is doing the right thing. My only question is, or the thing that I want to tell people, is that you have to understand that 90% of what a corporation does is not for the purpose of what they're doing it, but for a way of making money.
Yeah.
Because that is what they are. They have investors and they do these things.
Yep.
So you have to ask yourself, is this really the next trend of things?
Right.
And I also think that we need to get smart people deregulated to come up with solutions that the government actually allows us to solve the problems. I
Yeah.
think that we could solve a lot of problems, like recycling a plastic bag.
Let the entrepreneur take over, and it'll all smooth out.
Yeah, but see, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to
because-
happen because the politicians think they can outsmart the entrepreneur.
That's right.
And the politician has not been born that can outsmart the entrepreneur.
That's right. As we've said before, hopefully you've seen
But
that
they may
before.
have missed that video.
They probably did.
Yes.
They probably did. Well,
So,
shame
anyway.
on them. Well, I hope that this all makes sense to you. These are kind of our rambling thoughts about all of this. Once I see somebody doing something about this,
Yeah.
then I'll be on board.
Yeah.
Because I don't even need these.
Yeah.
And they come out of the machine whether I want it or not.
Right.
And something should change.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
good
think
day
you
to
should-
you all.
I think you should start a cause.
I'm gonna make necklaces out of recycled thermal paper. My clothes in the next video, I'm gonna have like a toga of like receipts, like put together. I'm doing my job for the environment, people. Have a good day.